welcome to episode 7 now of DappRadar's Off the Blockchain. I'm your host, Charlie. We have Rob over in Turkey. We have Ian in Lithuania. This is a podcast all about blockchain, dapps, NFTs, gaming, DeFi, and anything else under that general umbrella of Web3. Whether you're listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube, we're glad to have you and welcome. We've got a varied show lined up for you today. We'll be discussing the ever-unfolding situation with Terra. It seems like things are going from bad to worse there, but fortunately, other cryptocurrencies and other parts of the DeFi industry haven't followed suit yet, so kind of good news there. We're going to delve into gaming. Games have held up well in the current bear market, and some have even thrived over the past few weeks. And we'll be looking at Animoca brands bringing more KYC checks to their decentralized platform. So we're discussing whether that means there'll be less decentralized, more decentralized. Who knows? We've got thumbs up or thumbs down when Ian and Rob can give their hot takes on some smaller stories. And we'll also be answering some listeners' questions at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned for those at the end. On that note, if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments on YouTube. Find us on DappRadar on Twitter. Or feel free to join the Discord server and put your questions in there. Of course, before we get into any of that, Ian, how are you? Any wasp in your office today?
I'm doing all right this week. I'm in a very good mood. I've tried to stay super positive amidst everything that was happening, and it worked. I'm good. I've got no complaints. Very happy.
And Rob, how's things?
Yeah, all fine, man. All fine. Like the whole drama, of which I'm not personally part of, hurts a lot of people. That kind of sucks. But amidst all this negativity, there's also lots of positive things to talk about. So, and I guess we will cover both of them today.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're gonna have a game of thumbs up or thumbs down. We've got some funny ones this week. So the first one I'm gonna put your way is the OK Bears and Not OK Bears episode that took place over this week. So basically someone copied a Solana NFT project and put it on Ethereum. It had a bit of a run, but then OpenSea has delisted it. So thumbs up or thumbs down on this small little episode that's quite funny.
Rob's like,
why thumbs down, Rob?
No, because I don't think, first of all, I hate copycat NFT collections.
Yeah, same.
I hate it. Mirroring it or changing the colors. It's just stupid. However, I also believe if you block not OK Bears from OpenSea, then you should also block everything else. And right now what OpenSea is doing is very selective. And that, of course, OpenSea is a centralized organization, but this is the way they are treating this right now is not fair. So that's why I gave the thumbs down.
Ian, I think you just think it's funny, don't you?
Yes and no. I think it's interesting. You know me, I always think about things from marketing perspectives. My spidey sense tells me this was a bit of an inside job, to be honest. And the OK Bears, Not OK Bears, has pumped OK Bears significantly in the last few days.
Yeah, we're talking about it now, aren't we? So
marketing / branding awareness hype. Very clever, in my opinion. If it wasn't that, it's a thumbs down. But I'll give it a sideways thumb because I think it's interesting, what they're doing in that world, and is it? And we won't. And I want to find out, who, where did it stem from? What's the idea behind it? Why do this?
Yeah,
I honestly think if it was you suggest this inside job potentially, yeah. I choose the other side of the spectrum. I think it was an external party. I honestly think the Ethereum community has been taking lots of bullshit from side chains and other layer ones that copy CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, and so on and so on and so on. Now you have Tron punks and Soul punks and all that bullshit. And now the Ethereum community finally was like, okay, listen, Solana has a popular collection, OK Bears, that's doing lots of money. Let's copy it. It's payback time.
It does feel like that as well, Rob.
I'd
agree with that as well. I'm on the fence. I think it could be either or, but there's a lot of that on Twitter, like just fighting, Solana's better than Ethereum. And then one guy was like, but on Solana, these OK bears are 16K, and on Ethereum, they are like $600. So who's winning? Like, it's just getting a bit silly, really. Like, it's just distraction, I guess.
Yeah. But it's literally the same story that happened before, but the other way around.
Yeah, definitely. It's happened loads of times as well. All right. Next one is Madonna making herself forever young again.
Again
and again. Beeple has depicted her in avatar form. We've got some pictures here that Annika's going to be popping up. I'm not going to describe them. If you are listening on Spotify, go and check out the video of Madonna as an avatar with.
Yeah. It's interesting. I actually didn't know it was a video. I thought at first it was just a still picture. Then I saw the video, and shockingly, like
it's quite graphic.
A tree grew from between her legs.
Yeah.
And flourished, and ultimately it becomes a flower again.
It's the seat of creativity.
Okay, never mind. But
you still look a bit traumatized from it, Rob. I think.
Yeah.
We need to.
I was actually a bit in shock.
There should be a warning label here, like do your own research kind of thing. Like, don't watch it if you've got a soft stomach, maybe.
You need to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down on it. Down from Ian. Rob's unsure.
I will give thumbs up.
Rob's giving it a thumbs up.
Yes, I will give thumbs up. Not because it's Madonna or because it's Beeple, but because all the money went to charity.
Yeah,
they rated $620,000, and it all went to charity. And like you can say of Madonna what you want, and Beeple, but this is something they did something good. So
yeah, you can't complain about that. All right. Any more on that, or should we swiftly move on?
No.
That was a good point that Rob just raised, and I did forget about that. So, all right, maybe my thumb has turned up slightly, but Madonna just annoys me a bit, to be fair. So yeah,
I know what you mean. All right, there's a new trailer that's come out from Galaxy Fight Club. Let's take a look, and then you can give me your quick thoughts, and you can give me your thumbs up or thumbs down on that as well. I thought it might be a thumbs up from Rob.
Yeah, thumbs up.
As the resident gamer, what are your thoughts on that? Do you play Galaxy Fight Club?
No, I don't. But the thing is, like, I'm in love and kind of obsessed with the thought of interoperability. Like, I love seeing NFT collections being incorporated in various products. In this case, like if you watch the trailer, now, there were Kaiju Kings, Cyberkongs, Bored Ape, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a Bored Ape, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if you hold that a particular NFT, you can use that NFT or that character from your NFT in Galaxy Fight Club, and I think it's such a futuristic
concept.
thing.
Yeah,
it's so cool. Like there's another game called I think it's called NFT 2040, which is a online shooter where you can use avatars. There's World Wide Web, where you can use NFT characters or PFP NFTs as your playable character.
Yeah, so and there's going to be MetaKey as well.
And there's MetaKey, that new Ganymede. So there's all kinds of stuff happening right now. It's about interoperability and using one NFT in a totally different product. And that kind of stuff just really excites me. So that's why.
It looks cool. Ian, what are your thoughts?
Thumbs up. Looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a gamer. You know me. I'm not a gamer. It looks quite fun, and the graphics look pretty cool, and it looks fast paced. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge gamer, but I do like the idea of being able to take your character around the whole metaverse to different virtual worlds. I think that's quite a cool thing, and loads is going to happen in that space in future that we can't even imagine at the moment. Right, quite a few thumbs up there, so well done, everyone. Let's do some show and tell. We'll be chatting about some of the smaller projects we're interested in, but maybe don't get quite as much attention as some of the blue chip ones. So, Ian, I'm going to go over to you first. What are you interested in at the moment?
I have been taking a look at a DApp called Good Dollar, which runs on the Fuse network. So the premise of Good Dollar is to distribute universal basic income, or UBI as it's known. UBI is like an idea that people at the lowest levels of income should be able to claim a set amount of money per month or per week or per year to be able to sustain themselves and live, similar into, I guess, like the British system of the dole and like job seekers allowance and things like that. It's a system similar to that. But the idea behind Good Dollar is that money is coming from more wealthy individuals across the world. So I like it because it does a couple of very cool things. Number one, anybody can pick up this UBI. So today, you guys can go to their website, sign up for UBI with a very simple KYC process, which is necessary because obviously you could have 100 wallets and then claim UBI through 100 wallets, but only one person. That's not possible in this system. So you can go there today and you can start to claim UBI. Now, the amounts are pittance, very small pennies. But one thing that's doing, you've installed a wallet and you've now got a digital asset on your phone in terms of a cryptocurrency. You didn't pay for any of it. It's free. So they're fundamentally onboarding people into the world of crypto through this mechanism. Secondly, it's like anybody in the world can claim these good dollars, as it were. So it's like financial inclusion as well. It's not just for certain people or certain groups. So I quite like that as well. And then third is all about currency as a concept. What gives currencies value? It's perception. It's the perception of value. People in the UK have trust in the pound, so they use the pound. Blah, blah, blah. The US, the dollar, exactly the same situation. So if you've got the good dollar today is really far away from a dollar. But if someone believes in the good dollar ecosystem and puts enough money into it, it can become worth $1. So I just like the whole idea of it. It's usually in a recession, interest rates go up, right? Rich people get richer, poor people have a harder time. This system flips that over and believes that richer people should be earning less interest and poorer people should be earning more interest in this system. So I'm all for that. I like that. I like the way it looks at things, and I think it's pretty revolutionary, and it's also backed by I can't remember his name, the founder of eToro, Yanni, what's his name? Can't remember his full name, sorry. But eToro, obviously a pretty good platform with a lot of reputation behind it. So yeah, I quite like it. It's pretty cool. I definitely suggest checking it out. If you're a wealthier individual, then you can definitely leverage it more. And you're basically staking your tokens, collecting a percentage, but giving up a smaller percentage for this UBI pot. So it's pretty cool.
And you say it's on the Fuse network?
Yeah, it's on the Fuse network. And yeah, it's like super easy on board. Like even if you just install it and claim. And obviously we've seen other interesting things like pickups of claims from countries like the Ukraine, for example, where there wasn't a whole bunch of pickup happening. All of a sudden people started claiming. Now, as I said, the amounts of pittances. So you don't go there expecting to pick up 50 quid a week. Like that's not what I'm talking about. At the moment, the amounts are so small, but it's built to scale. So by supporting it now, you can be part of it in the longer run. And I think it's got legs. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks for that. Rob, what's on your outlook?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of metaverse and gaming stuff. We often talk about the sandbox, the Centraland, and one of the worlds we've been writing about quite a lot as well is NFT worlds. Last weekend they had their Genesis avatar reveal. So everybody who minted an avatar for 0.4 ETH now gets to see their avatar. So that's what happened to me. I got my avatar, a very basic one, like probably floor price. So from that perspective, not very exciting.
Yeah, it's a shame that happens.
However, like what's cool about the avatars, an NFT worlds ecosystem at the moment is, first of all, the avatars, you can stake them and you can earn passive income on them. The similar way as that you can stake your world NFTs. So that's cool. On top of that, when you hold an avatar, you get access to exclusive airdrops from partnered games or worlds or whatever you want to call it within that ecosystem. And what they've been building now is that right now the NFT worlds are just individual worlds, but now they're building portals between worlds. So you can place a portal inside your world that transports you to another world. So suddenly, and the NFT worlds are already huge, you can literally build a world within that one world.
Yeah.
But suddenly you can move from world to world to world in a similar way. What is as to what is proposed in, for example, the sandbox. However, like in NFT worlds, those bridges between worlds are community owned. Like you as the landowner decide where the portal goes. So what can happen is that when you own multiple worlds, you can connect everything, or you can make friends with people and decide to create something together that aligns. And
you can build a game.
You can literally build a game with levels. Yes,
that's pretty cool.
And the final kind of cool thing is, and that's, to be honest, a kind of small thing, but remember last week we talked about ENS.
Yeah.
Domain name services. So basically URLs. NFT Worlds is going to launch their own URL. So .wrld world will become their own domain, and you can buy it, or it will be airdropped. I have no idea, but
so you'll get your own domain.
They're working on that, and you will have your own domain. Yeah,
nice.
Which is pretty cool. So you can basically have a domain name refer to your world. And you can have DappRadar.world, and it can be our
or Rob World.
Yeah, Rob World. Yeah, it will be amazing.
Nice.
Robland. NFT Worlds is doing some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And it's, I have no idea how many people there work on the project, but it's super small in comparison with the Decentraland or the Sandbox or and they're so new, but they keep pushing out stuff. It's even if you're not invested in it, it's a fascinating project to watch.
Yeah. I'll usually read about it if certain news comes up about it, because they are doing really cool stuff. Right, I'm going to quickly give you my tip, and then we can move on to what we're going to be talking about, the big news of the week. I am interested in this project called Isotiles, which is these little character NFT avatar things that you get, and when you have one, you get your room, which is essentially like a gallery, and you can put your NFTs up in the gallery and you can show off to other people. That's basically what you can do. But they've recently just finished their staking period, so I staked my avatar, my NFT, and now it's finished. I get a free piece of world, or free piece of land. That's going to be revealed, I think, within the next week or so, and that's going to be either a 1, a 2, or a 3-story house that I can sort of build into my own little, not quite a world, but it's like a building that I can make my own. And people can come round and they can, I don't know.
Maybe next time it's show and tell, you can actually take us inside there.
Yeah, I mean, once it's next week I will. Once it's revealed, I'll show you. But they've got what's quite cool about Isotiles is they've got loads of quite good cross partnerships. So like CryptoPunks, Mooncats, Pudgy Penguins. So they've got deals with them. So they're kind of making a wider cross sort of metaverse world, which is quite cool. And kind of this what goes back on what Rob was saying about that interoperability stuff, which is what you can do with blockchain stuff, where it all links up across the internet. It's quite cool. So yeah, Isotile, go and check it out. They're on OpenSea and secondary marketplaces. But yeah, the staking's just finished, so you won't be able to get your free land, unfortunately.
Chad.
You can't have everything.
All right. You told us last week.
Yeah, well, I think, you know what? I think I did tell you. But
should have been Dapp of the week.
Christina wrote about this ages ago on DappRadar, so you all knew. All right, fun stuff over. Let's get into the horrible stuff. No. Terra, Ian, what's been happening again?
Again,
you win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. What a title. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to start by breaking it down a little bit for people who not known, and then the real thing we want to talk about is the bigger effect here, really, right? So starting at the beginning, Terra Luna arrived on Binance 2020 August, opened at 53 cents, got to a high of $120 almost in April 2022. Last week, Terra blockchain ecosystem basically deteriorated in a matter of days. Native token Luna, 99.9% down, had 40 billion in market cap, pretty much wiped out. Meanwhile, USD, which is their stable coin, which is the real topic of debate, and that's supposed to be pegged to the US dollar, completely crashed. So on May 7th, the Luna Foundation Guard, which is like the sort of the group charged with looking after this entire foundation, entire structure, they had 3.1 billion in Bitcoin assets, which they then tried to use to stabilize UST. It did not work, and the price was still at 0.08. So the whole idea here was that Terra were trying to get their stablecoin UST back to $1 in however way they could, by hook or by crook, in any mechanism they could use. It just didn't work. So then Do Kwon takes to Twitter. He's the CEO. And he basically comes out with what he's calling an ecosystem revival plan, I believe was the term. Now, what he's saying is here, it's like Ethereum Classic, the fork. So he wants to do a fork, and the new fork would be called Terra, and its token would be called Luna. And the old chain would then be called Terra Classic and have the Lunk token, which is like the Luna Classic token. And both chains would coexist.
Lunk.
Now, like, that was a governance proposal. I think I read on Twitter this morning that 95% of voters voted against this proposal. It's fundamentally just like sheer arrogance of saying, like, yeah, we haven't got a problem. Let's just fork it off, reload, and all those people are still hurt and the whole ecosystem's still broken. A key part of it was that he wanted to relaunch the fork without stable coins. So he's basically admitting, like, this is broken. So that all happened. So that was pretty interesting. And then over in South Korea, there was news coming out that whale wallets had actually been able to cash out of their positions in UST at a very good rate in Bitcoin, close to $32,000, while other people like you and I, regular investors, were getting crippled and you know, the price had dropped by 40%. So there was those sort of allegations coming out. South Korean exchanges like Upbit halted trading. 200,000 South Koreans reportedly have lost money in this. So where does this all end up? Basically, you've got today the value of Luna is at 0.00018, effectively is worthless, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got
just quickly, bear in mind it was $65 last Monday.
Yes.
So in 10 days or whatever, it's gone. That's crazy.
It's crazy. And the reason is because it's an interdependency between UST and Luna, the two tokens, and that's the difference between Terra's stablecoin is the way that it's backed. But anyway, sorry, just to finish on the price is now 0.08 on UST, so that's less than ideal for a dollar pegged stablecoin, and it isn't going to get back there by the look of it, and Luna has been wiped out entirely. So all this has happened, or there's been so much debate, but the bigger debate is about stablecoins now. And there was record amounts of volume flowing out of USDC and USDT, other stablecoins, because people were just miffed and scared, thinking, is this the end of stablecoin stability? Are they all starting to shake? And we did see other dollar stablecoins lose their peg. The Neutrino stablecoin lost its peg. Even today, we're seeing it as well. But we are seeing that the leading stablecoins, which I would call DAI, USDC, USDT, and BUSD, which is the Binance one, they're holding their peg and they're maintaining their level. So there's a lot of chat at the moment about, like, what's the fallout here? That's the bigger picture, I think, is about stablecoins. So I'm interested to know what you guys think about the future of sort of stablecoins and the future and DeFi, because DeFi.
Well, I think the main thing to remember here is that not all stablecoins are created equal, are they? So
no, that's true.
This was backed by an algorithm.
Yes,
but other ones are backed by actual commodities or Bitcoin or cash reserves or something that's actually real and tangible. And I think that when the mainstream media puts stable coins crashing, people just see stable coin as one thing. But obviously USDC is keeping its price or the value. Other ones are, which one went down? USDT went down a bit, but
they all fluctuated by 0.01, 0.02. I think BUSD did 0.05, so that had the biggest fluctuation. And you might say, oh, it's only a penny. It's
But
only
upwards, right?
Upwards, yeah. Sorry, upwards. So $1.05, and people might say, oh, that's all right. It's only a few cents. It's not all right. Like it's not all right. It's meant to be pegged. It's meant to stick. It's not meant to fluctuate whatsoever. So nothing is all right in that world. So any fluctuation, even as small as that, is a problem. But yeah, the biggest story is, like you said, Charlie, as well. That's really correct. Like each one is different, and people don't know this. They hear stable and they think stable.
This is a very, very expensive mistake. That's probably wiped out some people's livelihoods, sure. But
It's an
you hope that
experiment.
people then learn from this. This is still a young sector and industry, DeFi. So
There'll be
this is something
another.
that people are going to learn from, though, hopefully, and be like, right, what can we trust? What can we not? Also, always do your research. And I'll go back stablecoin. And obviously, hindsight's 2020, but it doesn't sound as good as something backed by actual real things.
Exactly. And like people, it always surprises me how little research people do, and that you should be considering stablecoins as a cryptocurrency. And in that vein, it should be considered as a problem, something that could cause an issue, and you could lose your money. And that's how you should probably approach that as well. So, yeah, like you said, Charlie, it's an experiment, really. And I think it will happen again. And another stable coin will arrive with this same mechanic tweaked, and it's down to like sheer what's the word, excitement by the communities around Terra about this stable coin. And oh, it's amazing, it's backed by crypto, and it's in the top 5 by market cap. Like that excitement just kept spitballing and getting bigger and bigger. And
yeah, but there's always been crazes and hypes. People knew that these things were potentially going to crash, or that it was not all of them were real, and that not all of them were going to keep going up and up and up. Nothing can do that. No. I guess you try and pick the winner, the one you think is going to be the winner. But yeah, I mean, as we've already said, it's really unfortunate for a lot of people. They've lost a lot of money. But I always say, when people ask, what do you do for work? And I say, what I do, I write and talk about crypto and blockchain stuff. And they say, oh, what do you think about it? And I always say, unless you're going to do your research and really like live the life, stay clear, because there's cleverer people out there who will do rug pulls, or who will take your money, or who can see a mug coming from a mile off and they're like, you know what, here's someone I can get $100 out of, or $1,000.
And
so basically do your research.
Yeah, like a lot of people are saying, look, it wasn't a secret that it was backed algorithmically by cryptocurrency. It wasn't a secret, and Do Kwon didn't keep it a secret. It was very transparent.
Yeah.
What wasn't perhaps transparent is during the period when it was dropping, the communication was poor. It wasn't like, whoa, everybody don't buy UST. Whoa, everybody don't buy Luna. There was none of that. It was literally just business as usual. We'll fix this. You could be forgiven for that. You've got to put on your brave face, but it feels pretty bad. And but there's interesting things happening because of it as well. Like I was talking to Rob about this, the reach out from other blockchains trying to sort of pick the bones of Terra. That's how I described it. Like the vultures are circling and they're trying to take the best bits of Terra in terms of their dapps, what dapps are good. And now that they're failing, like other blockchains are coming along and being like, hey, we'll support you to launch on Polygon or on Phantom, or that's pretty interesting. Like that spurs more dapp development, and that's what we're here to talk about. So that's interesting, I think.
Rob?
Yeah, no, to that last point, I honestly think, and I've talked about this in the past, not necessarily in this podcast, but I honestly think there will be a future. You know, in video games or in the movie business, people pay creators to make something for their platform, and they pay millions. And I think what we will see in the future right now, like there's like developer grants and that kind of stuff. I think in the future we will see, let's say, the Ethereum Foundation or Immutable X or Polygon Studios. They will pay millions and millions to have the biggest content creators create the next product on their platform. So this steps a bit away from the stablecoin conversation, but that's what I think. So what Ian said about vultures watching the Terra ecosystem to grab some dapps, yes, that's absolutely happening, and that's a good thing, and we will see stuff happen far more and more, and it will be a lot more commercial, etc. When it comes about stablecoins, like it's yeah. I mean, what now happened to UST sucks big time, and it deserves these types of conversations. What is a stablecoin? How is it built? What does it mean that it's built like that? What does elastic? What does it mean when a stablecoin is elastic? What does it mean when a stablecoin is algorithmically backed? What does it mean when it's pegged? There are also stablecoins pegged to Bitcoin. There are like Badger had something like that. So there are all kinds of stablecoins, and each has their own implication. And looking at it from traditional finance, you want it to be backed by the US dollar. You want it to be backed one-on-one by dollars. USDC often has those reports, monthly or quarterly, and they explain that they are backed, and they prove it, etc., etc. USDT is a little bit more. I don't want to use the word dodgy, but
they just claim that they have it. They've never proved it, but there's nothing to say that they don't have it. So
yes, they're a bit mysterious around it.
Yeah,
and they say that their holdings are based on US dollars and cryptocurrencies. So, but because they don't have this algorithmic backing, USDT does not have the same dangers as UST had. And DAI is a completely different beast. And each of those has their own benefits, each of those. And I think maybe 10, 20 years in the future, we will see a lot more algorithmically backed, because then at that time, in those
maybe
times,
they'll have learned,
not only is there more knowledge, but also people will accept crypto more. Like right now, there's still so much fear and so much doubt and uncertainty around crypto that it's you only have to shake the bottle, and things will go wrong. And
so what we can say at the moment is that the future doesn't look good for UST, but the present definitely looks bad. But in terms of other areas of blockchain technology and Web3, gaming has actually held up really, really, really well. And I want to just chuck a few stats and figures at you just to show you that, that sector is just performing so well, considering we're in the middle of a bear market. And these are from the DappRadar BGA gaming report. So I'd suggest anyone interested in gaming or want to know about that sort of world to go and find it on the website, because it's really good. But all-time high daily activity with 1.23 million active wallets interacting with blockchain games in April alone. The other side, so Yuga Labs' new sort of gaming metaverse, had $723 million in sales. So that's probably a sign of something that's healthy. Money is pouring into the sector. $4.5 billion has been raised so far in 2022. To put that into context, $4.1 billion was raised in all of 2021. So in 3 or 4 months, they've already raised more than they did all of last year. And just some games that are doing really well, even in the last couple of weeks. Splinterlands, userships up 2.5%. Alien Worlds, users are up 19%. Farmers World, up 3.2%. And Galaxy Blocks, up 12.4%. So I think what this shows us, and it was certainly what it shows me, is that blockchain usage is up. Cryptocurrencies might be down. DeFi might be in a bit of a bad place, but Web3 technology, blockchain technology is not just crypto. Crypto is a part of it, and gaming is another part of it, and that's doing really, really well. Users are up. The tokens might be down in value, but the users are up. People are interested. People want to be part of it. So I guess my question to you two, what do you sort of see from the fact that other areas are doing really well? Crypto might be down, but other things are performing well.
Yes. I think it's a testament to how far we've come in such a short space of time. In the last bear market, there was very little utility for token holders. They were literally forced into hodling, selling, or perhaps engaging with gambling dapps that they didn't really
money,
or just losing their money.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, and there's a it's ridiculous how much there is to do out there with your tokens. And I think that's the first thing. It's a testament to how far we've come as an industry, to how much activity there is. And I think it's also interesting. I was looking at that data too, Charlie, and like I saw Splinterlands, it barely even took a dent on the day that the entire crypto market crashed. There's barely even. It's like it was just
People still want to play it, don't they?
Yeah, like they're just carrying on. There's no effect here to them. People don't care that their token price is down. It's not about that. Like, as you said at the beginning, crypto's about the financial side of it. And some people only care about trading and money. There's a whole other world out there going on where that's not the main thing. And I think it's amazing to see. And also it's like people are being able to make money in a recession, in a downturn. Okay, you're not making hundreds of bucks, but yeah, if you can make 10, 15 a week, great. Cost of living's going up. That'll pay for my washing up liquid and toilet paper. Perfect. Like, you know, you know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, every little helps.
Options. I've got pricey toilet paper, lads. That's the
problem. So you're like, yeah, I reached level 5 today. I can buy toilet paper.
I can go to the toilet. Food. It's all interconnected. That interoperability between going to the toilet and playing crypto games is massively connected, Robert.
Now I also realize. So you go to the toilet to play video games to be able to wipe your ass.
Boom. It's the perfect loop. They got me on the loop.
Rob, you're a gamer. You play games for fun, not just to try and make money.
Yeah.
Presumably, you agree with us that this shows that the world is more than just crypto, or the Web3 world is more than just crypto.
Yes, and that's exactly what bothers me a lot about all the doom telling on social media. People just forget that there's, in this case, 1.2 million active wallets interacting with video games. There's another 1.2 million interacting with DeFi and social or whatever product categories there are. So there's a plethora of options and entertainment, between quotation marks, of course, products out there in Web3 that's actively being used. And people forget that. Like, people look at token prices. Oh no, crypto is down. We are doomed. Web3 will end forever. No, Web3 is not going to end, dude. Like, it's thriving. Like, it's growing. The number of active wallets is growing. Web3 is growing. There's sure, like, there might be a value shortage for the time period, which may take 6 months or 2 years. Who knows? But like, activity is going to happen and is happening, and people forget that side of the story. And I think we at DappRadar need to push that, because not only it's an important one, but it's the one we build upon. Like, we that's the data we show. Like, we show that there's active people trading, playing
in the space,
and collecting in Web3. So I find it super important, and it's a very strong proposition that makes me very hopeful for the future of Web3.
Yeah, and it's really good that we've got companies like Animoca brands backing these sort of things, just because they're huge businesses they're not just going to run off overnight and take people's money. They're building for the future. But that kind of does take us nicely onto their KYC implementations, which I'm sure everyone has mixed feelings on. They're kind of bringing a bit more know your customer functions to like what is essentially a decentralized system. So what's happening there, Rob? Why should we be worried? Are we becoming centralized?
First and foremost, like, know your customer. It's a KYC is a
acronym. Well, initialism.
Yeah. Anyway, it means know your customer. Abbreviation, I want to say. That's the word I was looking for. But means know your customer. And know your customer is a system where you identify yourself with your passport. You take a picture of yourself in front of your webcam with your passport, holding your passport like this.
Yeah.
And next to your head. And then the system will say, oh, yes, it's really you. Okay, you're allowed to buy or whatever.
That's how computers talk.
Yes, that's how computers talk. And I don't say KYC is a bad thing. Like in some instances, it's good. It's a bit of customer protection. It's fine. I get it. But in the past few weeks, Animoca brands, the company that has gone from mobile development company to the number one Web3 gaming company on the world, with a valuation of multi-billions, they have introduced KYC in various products. The other side, land sale, KYC requirement. Crazy Defense Heroes, mobile game. If you want to claim your prizes, KYC is required. Rev Racing, if you want to claim your prizes, KYC is required. The Sandbox, pretty soon, land sale. There will be a land sale. KYC is required for the first time ever. So suddenly, everybody who has been trying to stay anonymous needs to identify themselves. And sure, you only identify yourself to Animoca brands using some software, but it makes it all feel a bit untrue to the nature of Web3. During the ICO period, 2017, there was a company called Civic, and they have a token called, I think it's CVC, and what they have been building is a decentralized identity system, identity verification system. And I was thinking about that, so it would be cool, ultimately, in the far future, we will have a Web3 wallet that's there's KYC on it, there's an NFT inside that's actually your driver's license, etc., etc. It's government approved, 100% KYC. And you use that to travel in public transit, to get your paycheck, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It would be cool. I mean, that's something that will happen. But how does this work? How do you justify as a gaming company that you want to have your customers KYC? When I buy a Nintendo game, I don't show my passport. So where does this?
It's a good point. I guess the thing is that you're not just buying the game from them to play. You're engaging with every time you play on it. It's a two-way sort of stream of interaction, because you're earning money, you're playing, you're potentially taking money from other people. And if someone builds bots to steal people's money, that's a problem for Animoca brands, isn't it? Because I think Web3, complete anonymization taught us anything, is that there are people out there who will try and take people's money. Not everyone's a good, nice person.
No, of course.
So you need to protect people as well, but it's finding that balance. It's making sure they can keep as much anonymity as possible whilst also keeping the community safe, because there are people out there who will steal and hack into stuff and take your money and do rug pulls. So
yeah, but this doesn't mean that you won't get hacked.
No, it doesn't mean you won't get hacked. But I guess it means that people will be less likely to hack if they can be identified.
Yeah, but if you KYC for something, you're not going to hack it. Then you would. The hacker is not going to KYC.
No.
I think we've come from 15, 20 years of Web 2 hacks, leaks, data leaks. Have I been hacked.com, or I don't know what the website is from the top of my head, but search your email address there and you will find it, and you will see how many companies have leaked your data. And it's sickening. So no, really, it's ridiculous. So there's 20 years of there are teams of hundreds of, maybe thousands of designers and developers, and still that shit is being hacked. So put it into Web3. Have KYC in Web3, or like whatever it is they use now. Yeah, who can guarantee me that this is not going to happen again? So where do you put KYC? Where is KYC in this entire process? And I think having a I don't know what the right solution is, but
Ian, we'll let you have the last word on it, Ian.
I don't know if there's a solution to it. I think it's the way that you look at it. There's a couple of points. Number one point, people wanting anonymity are the minority in my belief. They're not the majority. That's been repeated back to me by DApp developers and other people when they're doing their analytics. They're very surprised at how little people care about remaining anonymous. So I believe that they're a minority. And that leads to the second point about the fact that why is everyone moaning about KYC? For 20 years, you gave your soul away for nothing, literally for nothing. So you could look at pictures of your friends from school. You gave up everything. Those companies know when you go to the toilet. They know what you drink in the morning. They know everything, and you gave it for nothing.
But you never showed your passport.
But
you do.
Arguably, having a passport photo of me is far less useful to a company than it is to know every.
Yeah, they've got 1,000 photos of you anyway.
Of course,
they know everything I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, and
where
who I'm doing it with. A passport doesn't give them any of that. A passport gives them a picture of my face, and it says that I am who I said I am. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's quite sad, the argument around KYC and people being like, I don't want to. Why? Because you don't want to pay tax. Because you don't want to do something. You don't want to do the right thing. That's why you're hiding, basically. So sorry. But for me, it's like, that's the ethical side of it. You know, I love ethics. But there isn't an answer to this question. I think the answer is really that in the past, it's been a case of give up all the data, and then the company chooses how to use that data against with you. So they choose, right? You give them everything, and they choose what to use.
But now,
I think the flip side of it is that as a consumer, you should choose what you want to see. So it's like flipping it around, the other way around. You don't give up everything and then retrospectively decide that you don't want to see X, Y, Z. As a consumer from the beginning, during the KYC process, for example, you should be able to indicate, I'm only interested in games. And if you send me something outside of that, I'm not even going to see it. And it's not of any relevance to me. And I think that's where we'll get to, where we have the power to choose. Whereas now we just give it all up and they have the power to leverage that however they want. We should have more power.
Yeah,
Rob, I'll let you come back.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah, just one thing about how Web 2 takes our data. Like, yes, they take our data, but this has been like a slow development. Like
born out of a recession, I might add.
We've really been rocked to sleep, and slowly they took our data. Yes. So this is not like a sudden.
I see what you're saying.
People's stance on privacy and data has changed just because of what Web 2 has become. So from that perspective,
But has it though, really, Robert? That's all I would say. Has it really? Does the average man give a shit? I don't think.
I think what Rob's saying is they don't because of Web 2.
But there's an awareness.
There is more awareness now that your data is being used against you, but I still don't believe that many people care.
No, absolutely. I mean, if they can get a 5% discount on buying from a certain crappy web shop in exchange for their whatever
for your
data, then they will probably do that. But that says more something about people than about the like. We also we've discussed it before. Like, private keys. Like, are people capable of taking care of their own private keys? Yeah, highly doubtful. Of
course they're not. They can't even remember their passwords to their emails. How are they going to look after a string of 24?
Exactly.
madness. Like madness.
Or people use passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Password 111.
Or secret. My password is secret.
Exactly.
All right. On that lovely and happy note, we're going to move on to some user questions or some of our fans' questions, and then we are going to call it a day there. So, there's two from someone called Answer. The first one was about Coinbase and listing the Radar token on there. Has there been any news on Radar token listing on Coinbase?
There's no news on the Radar token listing on Coinbase. Coinbase has listed Radar as one of the tokens they're interested in, and that's it. Like ultimately, they will decide what they list and when they list it, and we are waiting. And fingers crossed. That's all we can say.
And the second one is the mobile app. When is it launching?
End of Q2.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a hard date on it because I know the guys are working on it and it's on its way. And we've seen some amazing. We've seen it. It's just taking a little bit more time than we expected. But end of Q2, I believe. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much. Right, we'll wrap up there then. We've gone over time as usual. So I'm going to say goodbye from me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from you.
Goodbye from you, and it's goodbye from him. All right. See you later. Thanks for listening. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.
All righty.